Okay, and as you can hear, we're getting locked up, or at least searched up by today's thingy. Well, today's SAM is the S-300 MPU. This isn't the one that's in the standard DCS. It's not the normal one. That's why it looks a bit different. It's the one from the high digit SAMs mod pack, which is very good. So I thought I'd have a go against that. I suppose I should also cover the standard one in DCS. Maybe after this one, probably not though. But eventually I'll come around to it. But I'm starting to do more mod stuff. I think there's still some standard air defences I know I haven't done, but they're more or less mostly covered for the most part, more or less. Anyway, I'm way out. I'm miles away. This is actually the furthest I've ever been away from from my little air base. I started off around 108 nautical miles. I'm now about 73. That's because some of the missiles we have today have gone extremely long range, 108 miles. I think the others are about 60 or so, which is more typical for the S-300 in the earlier versions. So yeah. Anyway, the MPU, that's I think that's the one that is classified as the S-400, the MPU, or at least it was the version right before the version that's also called the S-400. The S-300 is, I mean, the S-400 is more or less the same as the S-300. It's basically just a continuation. I guess Russia decided they needed a new product name, so they dubbed it the S-400. Now, as you can hear, we did get a warning that we are being tracked and that we have been fired upon. So I guess this can't quite be the S-400. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I guess it must be the one after. But I don't know. I'll have to look this up and insert it in the video. But yeah, it's a bit strange that we're getting a warning that we're being fired upon. I would have reckoned we wouldn't have heard anything. So I don't know if the modder, if the high digit SAMs mod is in the wrong with this. But we've got two missiles coming after us. Now I do have a set of a few. If I could stop mumbling over myself, I started off with a full tank of petrol because I thought, well, I probably need as much as I can take, really. I don't know where these missiles are. I seem to have defeated them. Okay, I'm going to turn my jammer off. I had it on there for a moment. Let's see. So yeah, you may notice that the tracking radar is on a mast, though there's the standard configuration at least the initial production, was to have it on a just mounted on a wagon, like the normal search radar. Okay, and we're just getting being fired upon. You can see we got a nice SA-10 warning. Okay, sorry about that. So we're going to go quite low here. Maybe I'm a bit too high. Okay, well, yep, okay, good. So we got 2 missiles. I guess they sort of gave up on us. Well, the idea with having the tracking radar on a mast is to improve engaging targets at low altitude. That's also why we have the, if I can find it, that's also why we have. It's also why we have this radar, the clamshell, which normally I prefer to use their proper names and not bother with the NATO names, but I can never remember its proper name because all of Russia's particulars, like with missiles and vehicles. Well, some vehicles and radars in particular, they all have a fairly incomprehensible model name made up of numbers and letters only, so it's impossible to remember. But yeah, basically that's for low altitude targets, for searching low altitude targets. It's more or less there for self-defense. Although it does have a range of about 60 nautical miles, but it's primarily there as a sort of defensive measure. I feel like I'm getting a good bit closer now. About 22 miles away. So yeah, I mean, obviously there's no point in me flying high and level because I'll just get shot down instantly. Realistically, the only way of, well, not the only way, but at least the only chance of maybe getting close is to fly very, very low to the ground, which since we're surrounded by desert, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Of course, that's a double-edged sword because it means they could engage me quite easily. I think I see something. Yes, looks like that might be some of the radar towers, perhaps. Well, it seems to be in the right direction.
Left engine fire.
Okay, well.
Left engine fire.
It seems like I
fire. Left engine fire.
I've got some kind of bird strike going on there.
Left engine fire.
I forget how you turn the engines off.
Left engine fire.
Is that the right one?
Left engine
yeah, it is.
Fire.
Okay.
Left engine fire. Left engine fire.
I've turned
Left
the
engine fire.
left engine off. Gonna
Left
start dumping
engine
chaff
fire.
like nobody's business.
Left
Oh, but I got shut down. Anyway. Well, there you go. Let's see how far I was. Can't really tell, can I? Well, I reckon it's about probably 15 miles away. Yeah. Maybe if I do this. No. I was going to see if I could zoom out backwards to that smoke cloud over there. And then maybe I could sort of guess on the map where that is. But that doesn't seem possible. I'm guessing I'd say about 15 miles away. So yeah, I mean, we got kind of close. Maybe we could, if I had like an anti-radiation missile, maybe I could have popped off a shot. I could have been close enough, perhaps. But yeah, so I guess I could try that again, but maybe spawn in super close to it, and see how long it takes. Let's say that we managed to sneak through, and they didn't have any of their radars turned on, and you know, I got close enough to them where I could maybe see the airport. It'd be interesting to see what their reaction time would be. So let's try that. Okay, well here I am about 13 miles away. So I'm still getting picked up, that's fine. I'm gonna get down low. Maybe I turn my jammer on. And I think I must be within their minimum range. So let me very confidently, very, very bravely pull up. Yep. So I guess their minimum range is about 7 miles away. Let's see if I can outrun one of their missiles. So I'm going to pull down. I've got my jammer on, but I'm not using any chaff. Just going to use my 2 engines to run away. Now it appears to have worked. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I think it's worked. Yeah, it has. Let's see. I'm not being fired upon yet, which is interesting because I'm 12 miles away. I'm quite high up. Okay, now I am. I'm going to accelerate this direction and I'm going to turn back on myself, whilst obviously
Bingo fuel.
losing altitude.
Bingo fuel.
no, that didn't work. Never mind. Well, yeah, I mean, there's not much you can really do, can you? I don't know. I'm not the best at avoiding SAMs. You may have noticed, so I don't really stand a chance against the S-300. But I'd imagine most people don't. So yeah, definitely good kill rate, good kill ratio. So unless you can sort of scheme your way into their minimum range, you don't really stand much of a chance without some specialty tools, whether that's support aircraft or your own missiles. Okay, well, I guess that's obviously I can't milk anymore from these guys. So a big thank you to the S-300 for butchering me repeatedly. And thanks for watching. Okay, bye.